not a moral judgment, that's just biology. I know that this behavior is ineffective and inconsistent with that ultimate goal of survival. So I'm going to say to you, what is happening for you right now? I just feel uneasy. Okay, that's okay. Let's just pause. So we're going to take that second to attune to and attend to the fear, and only the fear. Because until we can sense safety, we can't resolve the distress. So we're going to attend to the fear, and we're going to offer some level of safety cues, whether that is visual safety cues, physical safety cues, depending on where and who you're with or what is happening. You're going to find cues for safety. Because when you have safety, you get to that neutral state, which a lot of people call calm, which I find sort of, I don't know if I like the word calm, right? Because calm implies that we're like relaxing, we're like laying down, chilling, doing nothing. No, I don't need you to be calm, I need you to be safe. I need you to know that you're not gonna die if whatever happens is not going the way that you need it to go right now, so that you can just stop and you can be what first responders call relaxed and ready. What doctors call rest and digest. Because that's when your nervous system is capable of optimal functioning. And when you have optimal functioning, then you have optimal access to your cognitive experiences that tell you how to move through this situation. Because all of that cognition is critically important for thriving and for the human experience of not just survival. So that cognition is critical, but it's not the most critical for survival. So we survive first, then we thrive. And so when we try to thrive before we know we can survive, conflict and chaos, right? So what do we want to do is we want to stop and survive. We want to stop and know that we're safe before we go on to do the next thing, before we try to solve the problem, because we don't even know what problem we're solving for. Because our system thinks we're solving to live, and we think we're solving to like plan for like the party or something, but it's like that's all getting mixed up. So you're making poor choices, you're missing stuff, whatever, it's a whole mess. So once we can stop, find safety, then we can think and act and succeed. So instead of going through the whole intellectual process of figuring out what's wrong with me, I want to teach you guys how to just stop, find safety, and then get back to it. Get back to success, get back to thriving. And so we do that by finding safety cues, which I'm going to move over to that screen in just a second if I can find my mouse. Oh, here it is. Okay, so safety cues. These are my 3 favorite because they involve very little analyzing of your experience. Because I don't want you to analyze your experience unless you're in the presence of a therapist. That's not the time. The time when you're not in the presence of a therapist whose purpose is to help you analyze your experience and work through those and heal them, the time is to live the most present and experienced, or present and engaged life that you can. So I always talk to my clients about outside of session, and I call it on the outside versus on, so like they're in the session and I'm like, okay, but like when you're on the outside, meaning in real life, which sounds like on the prison, whatever. Anyway, so when you're on the outside, your job is to be present, be engaged, and experience your life and just be okay. And then when we're here in session, then you can come to me and be like, you know, I noticed this thing where I was feeling dangerous. I used my cues, so I moved through it in 5 minutes, and then I kind of got on about my day, but I wrote it down. This was the situation that I was in, right? And then your therapist can help you figure out why you thought it was dangerous and relearn that it's safe, right? So that's a thing for somebody else. You don't have to do that, right? Like just get present, get grounded so that your system knows you're safe. And so the first thing I do is literally look for safety cues, like exits. Like remind yourself that you have an exit strategy. But you can get out if you need to, right? So you're gonna kind of look around. And then life. So life is so indicative of safety, right? So like thriving flowers or plants. There's actually research that shows that the more live plants you have near you, the better your health will be overall. Because it's sending signals, right? Organisms. We're organisms, so it's sending signals of life and safety and survival. And so you want to look for stuff like that. Find stuff that you like. If your favorite color is orange, like find a bunch of orange stuff to look at. That's all you're doing is just like finding stuff that makes you feel good. And so what I often do is I ask people to look around the room, find 5 triangles. This room's kind of hard. There's not a lot going on in here, but usually you can. So I bet we could find 5 triangles. But if we just stop